preferences. Above all, no matter what format you use, your letter should not look lopsided, crowded, or
Write
spread
down
out.
any notes that you think would be valuable to tell the difference between the
Letter
two.
format refers to the way your letter looks on the page, whether in print or on screen, where you indent and where you place certain kinds of information. The most formal, preferred, and frequently used business letter format in the world of work is the full block, but you should be familiar with the modified and the semi-block formats. Let's take a look at each. In the full block format, as you see here, all information is flush against the left margin, double-spaced between paragraphs. Many employers prefer this format when the letter is on letterhead stationery.
Is the full block the block format? Oh.
In a modified block format, as shown here, the writer's address, if it's not imprinted on the letterhead, the date, and the complimentary close in the signature are positioned at the center point and keyed towards the right side of the letter. The date aligns with the complimentary close. The inside address, the salutation, and the body of the letter are flush against the left margin. The semi-block format shown here looks just like the modified block format in terms of aligning the date and the complimentary close with signature and any key enclosures at the center point of the letter. But the paragraphs in the semi-block format are always indented 5 to 7 spaces, using a tab in your word processing software. Letter is an indispensable tool of communication in business, and strong formatting will increase goodwill and perform a variety of other business functions.
Okay. Now, can you distinguish between a block letter and a modified block? If I showed you a block letter and a modified block, you could tell the difference. How can you tell the difference?
Because a block letter is all aligned on the same side, and then a modified is the body centered.
Right.
Or aligned to the left or
Right.
whatever to say.
If here's your letter, I know my squares are not squares, but that's okay. Block. Everything is lined up along the left. Okay? Always on the left. Most letters are block. Okay? There's some spacing in between each thing, but it's all lined up at the left. Modified block, the date comes over here. Some stuff is lined up here, and then the body is over here. It's indented. Okay? It's not all lined up at the left. Okay? Everybody understand? Block, all lined up at the left. Modified block has some indented sections. Whoops. I went too far. Alright. How could you explain that to another student in the simplest terms? How would you explain the difference between modified and block?
The block format, everything's on the same side, and the modified format, some stuff's on the side, some stuff's in the middle.
Okay. What changes can you make to a block letter to make it a modified block letter? Indent. Or if you wanted to do the reverse.
Okay.
Don't indent.
Yeah.
See, y'all got this. This is going to be easy peasy. Alright, I gave you the information on letters. Okay? Turn to the second page. You have an example. Look at this example. Is this a modified block or a block?
Block.
Why do you say it's a block letter?
Because all the line is on one side.
Everything's lined up on the left. Do you see how there's spaces in between the date? There's a double space. We say DS. There's a double space after the letter address. There's a double space after the salutation, the body. Everything's double spaced. Turn over a page. 2 pages, actually. I think. No, it's a little bit further.
It's on page
244. This is an example of the modified block. You see how some stuff is lined up, and then the date and the sincerely, your name or this person's name is all indented. That's modified. All right. Today, you are going to do, yes?
Why's the date like the only thing on top that's not aligned?
On the modified block, why is it not indented?
Yeah, like why is it indented?
Because it's a modified block.
No, I know that, but like everything else can be unaligned. But why does that have to be indented on top?
Because somebody somewhere decided that on a modified block, the date and then the citation or the your name and complimentary close is all going to be indented. I don't know who did that. I'll have to look that up and find out whose bright idea it was. I prefer block. Yes, ma'am.
Why did they put JK at the bottom?
Because somebody else typed it. That's a reference initial.
I thought
See,
they
it's
meant
from.
Just kidding.
No.
Oh.
JK at the bottom of that letter does not mean just kidding.
Oh.
This lady, Martina Garcia, is the sales manager. This is what she typed, or she said, hey, my assistant typed this up. He typed it, she typed it, I don't know. They put their reference initials, JK. Remember I said if somebody else types it other than you, you put your reference initials on there. So if one day when you're working somewhere, your boss brings you a paper and says, hey, I need you to type this up for me and send it out. Then after you've typed it, at the bottom you're going to put your initials. So if I typed up something, I would put RF. You put DH. Okay?
What would I put?
CR.
I thought it was CI.
CR.
Coldfish?
I know. If there's a copy, you put copy. You just put a C for copy, a BC for blind copy. Postscript, you do not have to put PS. We do that because that's just the way that, we've been brought up, but you don't have to put PS if you forgot something. All right, turn to page 249 in this. We're not doing part A. Not today. Part A is where I will give you a letter and you will tell me the parts. Today, I want you to do part B. Okay? You're going to type this exact information. All you have to do is type it up in the correct format. Okay? I want you to do a block format and a modified block. Same information. Okay? And then you'll submit it to Teams. I will show you how to start it.
Don't just put it back in.
Where'd it go? That's the problem.
Probably in your backpack.
All right. You need a blank document. First thing you're going to put is the date. This one says June 15th, so we're going to put June 15th, 2020. I'm going to erase my sloppy pictures and draw them a little bit better. Y'all remember when we did a cover letter?
Yeah.
Justin. Can you plug this in for me? Hold on.
The date. Then we double space. That means enter twice. Then you put the address. Double space.
89 Gateway Street.
You have to put
Yeah,
the person's
Washington.
name too, remember?
So put their name and address.
So the date, June 15th, 2020. Mr. Rob DeSosa, 89 Gateway Street, Seattle, Washington.
Hold on, wait. So I do Mr. Rob and then space 89 Gateway Street?
You have to put his, no.
Oh.
Address goes like this. Name, street address,
Okay.
city, state.
So we don't enter twice, we do.
No, you do all of this in one little section. Then, after you've done that, you hit enter twice. After you have Mr. Rob DeSosa, 89 Gateway Street, Seattle, Washington, 98101-3428. Then you hit enter twice, and then you have your greeting or your salutation.
What are all the numbers at the end?
The numbers.
Yeah, at the end of.
Thank you.
The 98104?
Yeah.
That's the zip code. The 3428 is the 4-digit part of a zip code that